Hey, what's up? Welcome to the Ultimate Home Studio Setup Guide. This series of videos is going to be targeted towards people just setting up their home studio for the first time. They want to kind of figure out how it works and they want to get the most out of their home studio and also just like set it up properly. Maybe you've never done it before. Maybe you have a little bit of a home studio setup, but you want to optimize it, make sure you're doing things properly, hooking them up properly. This series of videos is for you. So I want to go through each kind of element or component. I boiled it down to 6 main components of a home studio that I think are really important and that can kind of create the ultimate home studio setup. And what's crazy is when you scroll TikTok or you're watching studio tours on YouTube and all this stuff and you get overwhelmed by these big fancy home studios and such. All those home studios are kind of an expanded version upon what you're going to learn in this series of videos. And as we go through the elements of the home studio, I'm going to give you guys equipment recommendations that I personally have experience with and that are also budget friendly. So not sponsored, but just budget friendly recommendations that I can recommend in good faith having used them. When I was starting out, I would have given anything for this information because knowledge of this information would have helped me skip all the guesswork. I had to figure out a lot of this myself, and that's why I want to now share it with you so you can speed up that process and optimize your home studio and get it set up for the best results as quickly as possible. So without further ado, let's dive into the video and talk about component number 1. All right, I want to start off with talking about number 1, an audio interface. This is really important because this is what's going to connect your microphone or your guitar or whatever you're plugging in to your computer, okay? We'll get to all those other things too, but right now I want to focus on this audio interface, which is the in-between. Now, what does an audio interface do? An audio interface converts your microphone signal or your instrument signal, like an electric guitar, bass guitar, into a format your computer can recognize, read, and process. This is basically the in-between that allows you to connect your microphone or instrument straight to your computer. And then it routes the audio from your computer back out through your headphones or to your monitors, which are 2 speakers, left and right speakers that you can attach to this interface. They all essentially do the same thing by raising the microphone level using a preamp. Basically what you're gonna do is you take the microphone cable from your microphone and plug it into the XLR input of the interface, or if your interface has a line input, meaning a guitar cable, for example, you plug it directly in there. Anytime you're recording a microphone, the signal is very, very, very quiet. So you need something called a preamp, which is something that an interface has to turn that signal up so it's loud enough to be recorded into your computer DAW. We'll talk about microphones and computer DAWs in the next series of videos, so don't worry about that just yet. But what you need to know is that the interface is the in-between. Most of the time, these will be hooked up with USB. This is a USB input back here, or nowadays, probably what's most common is Thunderbolt USB-C. The interface I'm holding in my hand here, this is just a very simple introductory interface. I got this sometime in the 2010s when I was first learning to record. This was my first ever interface, and this is a 2-channel, or I guess a 1-channel, 1 mic and 1 guitar or line input, I should say. And this thing got me started in the world of recording. Now you can buy interfaces all the way from 1 or 2 channels all the way up to 8 channels, like this Focusrite you see behind me. And you can get them beyond 8 channels. And the reason why you might want more channels is so you can record more tracks simultaneously. Maybe you're miking up a drum kit, for example. But if you're just starting out and just needing to record a microphone, for example, sometimes just a 2-channel interface will be totally fine. In fact, I know a lot of people that just use drum samples. They're not recording a lot of bands or anything like that, and all they need in their studio is a 2-channel interface. Most of the time, I just use my Apollo Twin right here. Some are a little cleaner sounding than others, but I use this PreSonus reliably for a long time, and it's a great interface to get started. I've recorded songs on this that went to radio, so don't let the gear hold you back. So here are a few introductory budget suggestions at the time of this video. If you're just getting started, I can recommend in good faith an introductory PreSonus interface like the PreSonus Audio Box 96 or the PreSonus PreSonus Studio 24C. Another great and popular choice if you're getting started is the Focusrite Scarlett Solo. I've used a lot of PreSonus gear, I've used a lot of Focusrite gear. They are clean, good sounding preamps. Nowadays, I do use this Universal Apollo Twin, but if you're just getting started, I can definitely recommend those other interfaces in good faith. They're clean, they sound good, and it's all you need to start getting some great sounding recordings at home. So that's component number one, audio interface. And if you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, you can actually download in the description the Ultimate Home Studio Setup Guide, which is a full guide that I designed to help you in setting up your home studio for the very first time. It's a very user-friendly guide. It breaks everything down and explains how it all works. So go download that now, and I will see you guys in the next video, where we will talk about the next component in a home studio. See you there.